안녕하세요. Riding on the Korean wave. Welcome to Thursday's edition of The Culture Wave. I'm Kwon-soa in Seoul. Explore with us Korea's culture from all aspects and stay up to date with K-entertainment, K-tradition, K-people, K-everything. And all of that with our co-host Bella Kim today. Hello, Bella.
Hi, Soa. And hello to everyone joining us today on The Culture Wave. I'm Bella, back again to co-host. And of course, fill you guys in with the latest in K-entertainment.
Now, yesterday on the program, we connected to Australia talking about the Korean fashion world, K-fashion making its way around the world. Now, today we're also going to kind of stay with fashion, but it's going to get more traditional as we will talk about hanbok, right?
Yes, that is right. That's coming up very soon in our Hallyu People segment. So very looking forward to that as well.
But today we're going to start off with K-entertainment news with you, Bella, of course. And we have a fully packed stories about singers from all age groups today. So what's the first story we're going to talk about?
So first singer we're going to be talking about is Lee Mi-ja. Lee Mi-ja has announced her farewell performance. She declared that she will cease all activities after next month's concert, indicating her intention to retire. On Wednesday, Lee Mi-ja held a press conference to discuss her upcoming concert, Connecting the Pulse. She will share the stage with younger traditional Korean music artists Ju Hyun-mi and also Jo Hang-jo, who will carry on her legacy. Lee Mi-ja's farewell concert will be held on April 26th and 27th at the Sejong Center for the Performing Arts in Seoul. Now let's hear what she had to say at the press conference.
I prepared this concert with happiness, knowing that I'm able to pass on the legacy of traditional Korean music to younger artists through this concert. I couldn't ask for anything else but to please just think of me as a singer who continued the pulse of traditional Korean music.
It's always very emotional when you hear of singers retiring, especially such legendary singers. But the good thing is the music is always still there to listen to.
Exactly, yes.
And now we're also going to talk about a different farewell of a member of 17, but it's just a temporary farewell.
Yes, temporary farewell. We're going to talk about 17 Won-woo. Won-woo is set to enlist in the military, becoming the second member of the group to begin his service following Jong-han. His agency Platis Entertainment announced on Wednesday that Won-woo will begin his mandatory military service on April 3rd. As a result, Won-woo will not be able to participate in scheduled activities after his enlistment, which will include the Tecate Pal Norte 2025 festival coming up in April and also 17th Japan fan meeting. However, the agency reassured fans by saying that he will take part in the Carrotland fan meeting concerts on March 20th and 21st, and also he will stay connected with fans with pre-prepared content as well.
Different from the past, it's good to see that these boy group members have more opportunities to stay connected with their fans. So I hope that the fans can bear that span. And also, we're going to end on a happy note with some exciting news on singer Yoonha.
It's correct. Singer-songwriter Yoonha is getting married. Yoonha announced the news by posting a handwritten letter on her fan cafe on Wednesday. She wrote, "I have found my reliable partner in life and will be getting married." She added, "I will now support and encourage your life as a stronger and more stable Yoonha." Her agency C9 Entertainment announced that Yoonha will hold a private wedding ceremony with only family and close friends at the end of this month with a non-celebrity fiancé. Yoonha debuted in Japan back in 2004 before launching her career in Korea, and she released several hit songs including Event Horizon and also Password 486.
You're not going to sing a part of that for us, Bella, today?
No. I forgot the lyrics. Yes.
And my favorite was also 기다리다 or Waiting. That was also a beautiful ballad.
That's also
by
a hit song as well.
Well, congratulations to her, and thank you to you, Bella, for those K-Enter updates, and stick around.
Yes, my pleasure.
And now let's go over to our AI anchor, Ari, who has exciting cultural events in store for us today. Ari?
Hello and welcome to your AI guide to the latest cultural updates from Korea. Here's our top story. The 24th Gwangyang Mewa Festival, or Plum Blossom Festival, will kick off this Friday, heralding the arrival of spring in Korea. Maehwa Village in Gwangyang, Jeollanam-do Province, is recognized as one of Korea's top 100 tourist destinations for its picturesque scenery. The festival will offer visitors a chance to immerse themselves in the breathtaking spring spectacle as well as the village's traditional charms. Various activities, such as yacht rides on the Seomjin River and hot air balloon experiences, are also in store. A Gwangyang city official noted that while an unusual cold snap has made it difficult to predict the peak bloom, the plum blossoms are expected to reach full bloom this weekend and into next week. Renowned pianist Baek Gun-woo has released his third Mozart album, the final installment of his three-part Mozart piano recording project. Often described as a seeker of truth on the keyboard, Baek is revered for his meticulous artistry and relentless pursuit of musical depth. The album features Fantasia in C minor as its centerpiece, alongside 6 German dances, Adagio for glass harmonica, and more. To mark the release, Baek will embark on a nationwide Mozart recital tour from this month through October. The tour kicks off in Yeosu this Saturday and will be held across 17 cities, including Seoul, Incheon, Andong, and Miryang. The Netmarble Game Museum has officially opened in Seoul's Kurogu district. Located at the headquarters of Korea's major game developer, Netmarble, the museum showcases a collection of over 2,000 items, including early console game devices, game software, and other collectibles. The museum's inaugural exhibition focuses on the history of Korean computer games, presenting them through key themes and a chronological timeline. Established by the Netmarble Cultural Foundation, the museum aims to promote the social and cultural value of games while re-examining the gaming industry and its cultural impact. That's all from me. Keep it tuned to the Culture Wave.
Developed as part of an Asian art project by the National Museum of Modern and Contemporary Art, an exhibition took place in Seoul showcasing around 130 works of post-1960s art by female artists from 11 Asian countries. The art pieces portray the perspective of female bodies. Lee Eun-jin has the story.
This painting of a topless woman strutting in the middle of Myeongdong in the 1970s represents the women who challenged the status quo of society's gender norms. Rough textured concrete letters and unstructured waste wood pieces express the desire to escape institutional and disciplinary suppression. The elongated fabric rolled out from a structure that embodies a prison symbolizes the solidarity of women fighting for escape.
This installation of paintings expresses women in colonial Philippines, the various social and historical stories of the Philippines from the perspective of a female artist.
The National Museum of Modern and Contemporary Art collected works that independently express the woman's body and brought a large-scale exhibition of female Asian artists under the title Connecting Bodies. There are more than 130 pieces by female artists from 11 different Asian countries since the 1960s. This is the first time for some of the works, including the works of Baek Nam-jun's wife Kubota Shigeko and Mitsuko Tabe, as well as Chinese artist Guo Peng, to be showcased in Korea.
This exhibition showcases the artwork of Asian women not by defining it as a typology or ideology, but by telling the many stories of society through the lens of the body.
Rather than organizing works in chronological order or by artists or region, the exhibition is made up of 6 thematic sections, with focus put on the value of communication and connection expressed through the body. Lee Eun-jin, Arirang News.
Hanbok, Korea's traditional attire, is not just clothing worn in the past. It is an emblem of Korean culture, history, and identity. Today, we meet a person who is searching for his Korean identity by designing, making, and wearing hanbok. For today's Hallyu People, we are joined by hanbok designer Yang Cheon-Shik, or Jeff Van Dam, in the studio. Welcome, Cheon-Shik.
Hi, Cheon-Shik.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining us. So first off, Cheon-Shik, you are staying currently in Korea. So tell us a little bit about your visit right now and also introduce yourself to the Culture Wave viewers.
Sure. My name is Yang Cheon-Shik, or Jeff Van Dam, my adoptive name. And this is my return trip, my first time back in Korea. So lots of feelings and so excited to see and do all the things that I've been wanting to do here.
And I've been following you on your social media, and it did seem like you were enjoying your time already here in Korea.
Always.
And so, Cheon-Shik, you are currently wearing a hanbok, and you practice hanbok 생활, which means that you wear hanbok on a daily basis. So not just for special occasions like I would do, but that what you're currently wearing is one of your daily hanboks, and you designed it. Could you tell us a little bit about it?
Of course. This is one of my, what you would find me wearing on any range of day. I do practice the hanbok 생활 lifestyle of not only wearing but making the hanbok as well. I initially started my whole design journey as a way to sort of mitigate the fast fashion and find a way to make clothing that doesn't come from industries and companies, but thinking, well, I'm Korean, what do Korean people wear? And then quickly fell down the rabbit hole of hanbok history, Korean traditions, and so it led me to what I eventually found out, legitimate practice of making and wearing hanbok.
Wow, so you are a designer as well, right? Designing hanbok. What made you, aside from your originate Korean, but what made you, fall deeply in love with hanbok? And also, when did you start wearing hanbok on daily basis, practicing hanbok 생활?
I think it was probably about 7 years ago, 7, 8 years, exploring just more of my Korean identity, part of Asian culture in the United States. I think really just wanting to know more about who I am really pushed my interest in what I was looking for, looking to be inspired by is Korean aesthetic, Korean design. I think just it's such a beautifully simplistic but clean presentation and design that I really just had a strong pull towards, whether it's, the internal Korean doing it or not, but it was really just sort of a magnet.
A magnet. I like how you put that. Now, Cheon-Shik, there are many different types of hanboks. Hanboks for men, hanboks for women, and also for the yangban or for the kings and queens. So many different types of hanbok. Do you have a personal favorite?
For the most part, I stay within the designs and sort of shapes of Joseon dynasty, maybe mid to sort of late Joseon. But I find when I'm looking at myself in the whole picture of it, I really just fell in love with what sort of the yangban nobleman's wardrobe would look like in terms of what all the layers are and what they do for the wearer's silhouette. Of course, we can't ignore the kat and gakun and all the beautiful accessories that were displayed throughout this period of Joseon. So I just loved being able to experience and express that through these sort of parameters of Joseon.
Right, and I have to say your hanbok looks beautiful, and I especially when I looked at your other designs, I really liked how the different layers, how they look different from different angles as well. So yes, it is really fascinating.
And with the Hallyu boom as well, there's a growing interest and growing, popularity of hanbok globally. How is your response on the streets of New York? Because you're from New York. How are people, taking this in when people see you on the streets with full hanbok?
I'm completely aware I'm not just a run-of-the-mill outfit in New York, but I think also being in New York, we're used to maybe seeing things you wouldn't see in other places. Definitely nowadays, with the reach of the Korean wave of Hallyu, I hear a lot of, oh, I've never seen that in real life. Like, I've only seen that in Korean dramas or in movies. So very much hanbok and wearing this is for myself, but for people to experience Korean culture, to just see it physically in front of them, where maybe they would never have the chance to be a part, to see Korean culture in this way.
So how was it on the first day that you wore a hanbok in the streets of New York?
I mean, first full out, learning how tight to tie your headband is a learning curve, but I mean, there's really something about just wearing hanbok, you know, my multi-layered creations or the more traditional layers, the way your body moves and the way it feels to walk in the wind and have all the culture just flowing behind you. But it's such an indescribable feeling of just a solid power, a groundedness, and being my own culture and tradition. Just moving through life, existing in that manner, it's just everything.
I can imagine that that description will make other people want to try it out, because some people might think it might feel uncomfortable to wear a hanbok on a daily basis because there is so much you have to do to wear it. But once you get used to it, I love the expression with the wind, that you feel like you go with the wind while wearing it.
I know, and I'm sure Koreans walking on the streets of New York will be super excited to, you know, see you and be like, oh, I know that, I know it's hanbok, you know, very excited to meet you on the streets of New York.
Well.
Exactly, very proud. But I want to talk about some of the hanbok-related events that you've been to abroad or here in Korea. Can you please tell us about some of them?
Sure. I mean, of course, there are many events that happen in Korea that sadly I have been across the world for. But gratefully in New York, I've sort of grown with a community of historical fashion, historical costumers, and really giving a chance for maybe the first time for people to see Korean tradition within that space, where usually it's a lot of European fashion history and such, but to represent and be one of the first Asian creators, let alone Korean traditional creators. So going to historical events in New York, celebrating, of course, all the Korean holidays with the various cultural centers around New York. But really, it's just anything and everything I can find and do.
Probably very significant for you and meaningful. Now, Cheon-Shik, you describe yourself as aggressively Korean and also a Korean American adoptee. So what is it that you want to express with that, especially the aggressive part?
I feel like a lot of the times as Korean adoptees, especially in the West, we're gatekept a lot from our own culture, where we're often told we're not allowed to be Korean, that we're not Korean enough. And a lifetime of that, you can imagine what the toll it takes. But to fully embrace every aspect of my history, my culture, my tradition, I'm so fiercely proud of that. Aggressively Korean, as some would put it, but I have spent so much time feeling indifferent about my culture growing up, without seeing it, without being surrounded by it, and to finally find myself fully grounded and supported and feel so complete. It's something I never thought I'd be able to feel.
Wow.
Wow, very
And I can imagine that started with you wearing hanbok and feeling even more your Korean identity by doing so.
Yes.
So, Cheon-Shik, how much influence do you think hanbok exerts on you? And also, how much does hanbok display your identity?
I think it's, at this point, almost impossible to extract from each other. I mean, of course, take me out of hanbok and I'm just a normal person, but it's impacted so much part of my life, of my routine, of even when I wake up and get dressed, pulling my hair up into a top knot with a headband, all the accessories. I make all of my own, all the cloth garments, so if I want a new robe, I have to go and make it.
Right.
So every sort of aspect is considered. My apartment in New York, I have a traditional Korean bed. It looks very much as you would. I'm collecting furniture and antiques, all the things. So it's really sort of snowballed into an all-encompassing aspect of my life.
Wow, must be very interesting to also design your, own, hanbok itself, right?
Oh, yes.
So you don't have to go shopping.
Oh, no.
Right?
I go to the
You just have
fashion
to make
garment
it
district.
You just have to make
Just
it,
takes
right?
a little
You just need
longer.
some fabrics and,
Yep.
time to.
There's no one stopping me except myself.
Wow. And then now we want to move on to, talking about your goals and your wishes as hanbok designer or someone, who wants to raise awareness about this Korean traditional clothing hanbok as well.
I think where we're going in terms of sharing, I think we're on a really good track already. There's how quickly Korean culture has spread around the world and how much the world embraces that. It's so sort of clear to see. And I think, reaching out, respecting our traditions at the same time, I think Korea is very good at sharing what makes us special, what we love about our culture, and inviting the rest of the world in. I think the bits that I've seen, be it Korean designers such as Miss Sohee showing in Paris Fashion Week, the Korean global fashion, the designers here that I have seen on people in the States. So I've seen that reach like in front of my eyes, but I think it can only do more to strengthen Korea in itself and our ties with the world.
Cheon-Shik, our final question to you is something that I can imagine you would be best at describing. What makes hanbok so beautiful?
Ooh, I mean, there's so many things. I think it's all of hanbok's journey, all of the iterations, dynasties, shapes, styles. I think seeing that in its total encompassing history is such a beautiful thing, that our clothing remained pretty similar for so long, and that we lived centuries expressing ourselves fully in this clothing. And for maybe under 100 years, we've switched out of that, but it still exists, and to hopefully encourage that it may not just be for holidays or special days, that the feeling and goodness and power that you get from hanbok, just wearing it, it can be for any time.
I think you just encouraged us to wear hanbok on not only on special days like Chuseok or Seolnal or when we get married or and so forth. And on that beautiful note, we want to thank you, Cheon-Shik, for sharing your story with us today, and we wish you the best for your future endeavors and journey.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure being here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you, Bella, as always. We'll see you next time.
Yes, I'll see you next time.
Thank you for spending the past half an hour with us on the Culture Wave for your daily dose of K-culture issues. Thanks for watching.